Hello, everybody. In this presentation, we are going to examine and briefly discuss two strong types of bilingual education that aim to support academic language and additive bilingualism. So the overview of the presentation is as follows. We're going to talk about strong types of bilingual education, and in particular, we're going to focus on two of them, namely CLIL, Content and Language Integrated Learning, and Immersion programs. And finally, we are going to discuss features of immersion bilingual programs, and in particular, those features that make them successful programs of bilingual education. There are various types of bilingual education, and some of them have been categorized as weak types, others have been categorized as strong types. So the former aim to promote subtractive bilingualism, whereas the latter promote additive bilingualism. One of them is CLIL, Content and Language Integrated Learning, which is a dual-focused educational approach where an additional language and not students L1 is used for the learning and teaching of both content and language. So CLIL has been implemented in Europe since 1990s. Its aim is to promote both content and second language. And where we say second language here, you might also read foreign language. So it refers to either second or foreign language. So the student can develop the foreign language plus the content and knowledge at the same time. CLIL was developed in order to address a very well-known paradox in classes, in particular in subject matter learning. In other words, when we teach subjects of the curriculum, we tend to overlook the role of language as a medium of learning. And on the other hand, when we teach foreign languages or languages in general, we very often overlook the fact that language is just a medium for to convey content. So this double focus of CLIL was expected to be more motivating for learners because in order to comprehend the subject content, they had to decode and understand the language. So they are exposed to authentic and meaningful text at the same time, and they have to focus their attention on them, and thus unconsciously they end up paying attention to the language as well. So in CLIL and other similar educational bilingual contexts, all classes are expected to include two types of objectives, the content objectives and the language objectives. So a content objective might be learning how to define and classify angles in geometry, whereas a language objective might be vocabulary related to angles and their definition. On the other hand, we also have a different type of bilingual education program, which is called Immersion. It is much older than CLIL, 30 years before CLIL. Immersion education was launched in Canada, in Montreal, and it is used today as a term to describe a new form of bilingual education, a different form of bilingual education. The term immersion education is appropriate in context when the home language is a majority language and the school is adding a second minority or majority language. So the educational context, the setting, is quite different from that of CLIL. What are the main features of immersion education? It distinguishes between teaching a language and teaching through a language. So in immersion, language is definitely a medium of instruction. Language acquisition in the immersion programs is mostly through the second language being used. It is a result, in other words, of the fact that second language is used as a medium of instruction for 50 to 100% of the curriculum. What are the features of successful immersion programs? First of all, the minimum time the second language needs to be used as a medium to ensure customary achievement levels is 4 to 6 years. So for an immersion program to show its results, an implementation of 4 to 6 years is necessary. The curriculum tends to be the same for immersion children as for their mainstream peers, which means that immersion and non-immersion students are expected to attend, to follow, to cover the same curriculum, and achieve the same curriculum standards. What are the features of successful immersion programs? The one is that languages are separated in instruction. They are clearly separated. So immersion typically uses one language for a specific set of subjects. For example, math and science are taught in the target language, and social studies and ELA are taught in English, for example. Immersion students, when they are compared with mainstream students, are neither more advantaged nor more disadvantaged by studying a common curriculum. So we make sure that both groups are exposed, attend the same curriculum. It's a common curriculum that they attend, and therefore neither of the two groups, neither of the two educational programs is considered to be more advantageous than the other. As a result, immersion provides an additive bilingual environment. Students acquire a second language at no cost to their home language and culture. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you would like to find more about the program, please visit our website. Thank you.